Hello first graders. Today we are going to go ahead and start our draft process, which we learned about last week by watching the Austin's butterfly video. Today is all about practice. We are going to be looking at a landscape picture and we are going to be drawing from observation. So it's going to be very important that we are drawing exactly what it is that we see. You have chosen the hardest picture, so make sure that you are somebody that has a very good eye and somebody that is very good with drawing. If you are looking for the medium or easy drawings, you are going to need to look on your table and make sure that you are scanning the correct one. Before we do any drawings, we always put our first name, our last name, and our class code. If you are in Mrs. Gross class, you will put 1 for first grade and a G. If you are in Mrs. Colliard's class, you will put a 1 and a C. And if you are in Mrs. Herden's class, you will put a 1 and an H. Before we start drawing our landscape, I just wanted to go over a few things that help us get ready. The first thing you're going to notice is that the rectangle that we have to draw our landscape is laying on its side. It's longer, laying down, and not as tall. This is called landscape. If we were to turn the paper, this would be called portrait, and that would mean that the paper is taller than it is long. So portrait is usually for drawing people. Landscapes are usually for drawing landscapes. So we will be in landscape mode for not only our practices, but also for our real project. The other thing about landscapes that you need to know is they are basically made of 3 very simple areas. The first area is the area closest to us, and that is called the foreground. The foreground in a picture is an area inside the picture that it looks like we could step into and be in right away. We could step in and we could start touching things. The middle ground is the part of the picture that we would have to walk to. It would take us a little bit of time to get to, but it's not that far away. And our background will be on the very top of our picture, and that's really far away. It's off in the distance, probably too far to walk. You would need some kind of transportation, whether it's a bike, a car, a train, or a plane. So we're going to be drawing all 3 of those today. So box number 1 is for your first draft. Starting off a landscape, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start by drawing our foreground. So these are going to be the things that are closest to us, and the closest thing to us in this picture is a hill on the left hand side, and it is half of an oval, and inside that oval we are going to keep things very simple, and we are going to draw 1, 2 mini ovals for our hill. On top of our hill, we have 3 trees, and our trees are going to look a lot like lollipops, and we'll talk about why when we talk about the artist in another video. So today is just all about the drawing. So we're going to start with a large circle in the middle of our hill, and we're going to do a medium circle and a small circle. And we're going to do 2 vertical lines that are very close to each other. So we want the trunk of our tree to be very skinny. We're going to draw 2 more trees on our hill. We're going to put one on the right, and the side trees are a little bit smaller, so they're not as tall. We're going to put one on the left. So our side trees are going to be about the same size: large circle, medium circle, small. Again, with the vertical, skinny tree trunks. Next, we're going to do the middle ground, and the middle ground is going to be a little bit further away, but definitely something we could get to by walking. And our middle ground is going to be a straight line that goes behind our hill and goes all the way across horizontally. We want to add a little bit of pattern and decoration. So on the right hand side, we're going to draw a vertical line halfway, and we're going to draw a horizontal line halfway, so we have 4 skinny rectangles. So we have our foreground, which is our hill and our trees. We have our middle ground, which is behind our hill. And now we're going to go ahead and do our background. And our background is going to be a hill off in the distance. And it's going to be a half of a circle. And just like our first hill, it's going to have 1, 2. So we're trying to keep our patterns very simple. Numbers are all the same. Our background is going to have only 2 trees. We're going to have one on the right, this one's going to be the tall one. So we're going to draw a large, a medium, and a small with our 2 vertical lines. And then we're going to draw a smaller tree, not as tall. On the left-hand side with 2 vertical lines. So this is draft number 1. Like I tell even the older kids, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, and 5th grade, don't fall in love with it. It's probably not going to be your best, just like Austin's butterfly was not his best. You can still like it and you can still enjoy it, but know that we can always get better. And that's what we're going to be doing in the next video. The next video is going to explain how using a grid is going to help us when placing things on a paper. And that is called a composition. Composition is where we put things on the paper And the grid is going to help us make sure that the size of our trees is right, the size of our hills are in the right spot, and it's going to make our picture much more enjoyable to look at. So next video, we're going to be doing draft number 2 in our bottom section.